I do feel that for a lot of you, you have basically, we have the Nine of Cups, which is basically the realization of your wishes, your dreams, and your aspirations in the past position. So moving forward, a lot of you have cemented ties, have approached a situation where you have a greater sense of direction, clarity as to the direction that you want to move forward with people and projects. Okay, people, projects, and things in general. So there is that sense of communion, coming together, having common goals, common aspirations. And because of it, I do feel that everyone is basically headed in the same direction. So there is definitely a convergence in life paths. Possibly crossing paths with somebody, and then you realize that you have the same aspirations, the same goals. Therefore, you can continue to be in each other's lives, and you can continue to work together in order to achieve a common goal. What I'm getting here is also the whole concept of strength in numbers, because I know that with a lot of Libras in general, it's a fine line between that balancing act, where the self ends and where others begin. So I do feel at this point you have somebody in your life, a very significant person, whose ideas, expertise you really value, and who is actually whose goals are in alignment with yours. So they not only act as like a partner, but also in work or relationships, they can be somebody that is in the on the same life path, in the same growth direction as you. So this is a very, very good card here. In terms of what's crowning you here, we have the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is something that you've been emotionally invested in, or you've invested a lot of feelings, a lot of love in, and you're not able to let go. Okay, so this can be good or bad. As the crowning energy here, what I'm getting is that a lot of you might have rekindled a situation with a previous employer or a previous love partner. And I do sense that there might have been falling out in the past, and this is the week in which, or the month in which things are moving forward, or you're able to forge ahead, and you're able to give this another try. For those of you where this might be like a new situation, a new partnership, a new business partnership especially, there's definitely another element in the picture that is making it stable. On top of that, what's in your environment that you're not aware of is, for those of you who have recently started dating someone, this is what I call the card of flirtation. It's the Seven of Coins, but in this deck, the interpretation is definitely different. And the pictorial depiction of it indicates to me two people that have a lot of chemistry, that has a great deal of emotional rapport with one another. And they're also, it's that early stage of flirtation, of courtship, where they're kind of skirting around the same, the issues. They are very similar in philosophical outlooks and values. They do want to grow together, and they also are helping one another to achieve, financial stability, to achieve abundance in life in all sectors of their lives. Okay, so you've met a really good partner that is going to be conducive to, your long-term prosperity. So I do feel whoever it is that's in your life, things look very stable. It seems like a very egalitarian type of relationship. And if you look at this card here, the heart is buried underneath the ground. It indicates to me two things. The first is that, that physical chemistry, that aspect of, lust and things like that is, it's definitely at play. It's definitely at play, but I do feel the relationship itself is stable, mainly because it has a good foundation where two people actually like each other. It's not just, the physical attraction alone. Two people are going through this process where they have a friendship. They have a very solid sense of liking one another and respecting one another. So this is a very, very balanced relationship. In terms of your spiritual advice here, we have the Three of Swords. So a lot of you are still hanging on to past hurts, okay? As indicated by the Eight of Cups. So I do feel for majority of you, there was a situation from the past, and this is a new person coming through. So there was a situation from the past that you're still emotionally nursing, or you're still not able to let go of completely. I do feel like physically you've moved on. Emotionally, there's still that little, that fear, that, worst case scenario where you're kind of I wouldn't say it's affecting your future because your future looks really good. However, I do sense that you have to let go and release some of these anxieties from past relationships, past hurts, past disappointments, in order for you to make the most of this situation, because this situation in your present situation looks very, very fruitful. It's balanced. It's built on a solid foundation. There's a lot of amicable energy involved, and there's also like a great foundation for friendship, success, love, and respecting one another, and even like looking up to one another. In terms of your external environment, you have the Nine of Coins, which indicates to me financial prosperity. Okay, this is also a card of some money coming through, or people that are either self-employed, or they have a lot of financial investments in which the money basically grow on trees. You're off doing your own thing, and the money grows for it, grows itself. Basically, it takes care of itself. So whoever it is that you are financially or even romantically linked with, I do feel a sense of great financial prosperity, either that person individually or as a couple, as a unit. You can work together to achieve a lot of financial prosperity, because I do feel the sun. I do feel, with the sun card, it's a card of great success. It's a card of joy, happiness, but also like a lot of abundance. Okay, so these two cards indicate to me a relationship in which people are not at cross purposes with one another. They both have mutually agreed upon goals and aspirations, and they're not trying to undermine one another, or one person's rise to power and greatness doesn't make the other person feel insecure. So it's a very, very good card. It also, because they're both showing up like this, I do feel that finances in general are very good for you guys for this month, but it's because you're also coming into the relationship or the partnership with your own financial assets. The other person is coming in with theirs as well. So it might be a situation where both parties are whole and complete individually. Therefore, this relationship is able to work. Okay, so even if you were to combine your assets, if you were to join up your finances, I do feel that it can work, because both sides have been very responsible about taking care of things on their own respective ends. Therefore, this relationship has longevity, and it's already on a very stable footing. In terms of your hopes and fears here, I do have the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is basically embarking on a new path, and especially plans that you have that have been, in the works are now being implemented in the real world. Okay, so this is a very favorable card. It indicates to me definitely partnerships, definitely plans forging ahead, and just the power of execution. So you are looking for a lot of greatness in this. And I also feel as if, we have Three of Wands, Three of Coins. And in general, I do feel there might be, you might be in a partnership, and there might be like, as a result of it, it's such a good union that you're both attracting a lot of luck to you from an external source. It can be from like a financier. It can be from family. It can just be, in a universal way, a lot of good things are in the picture for you. As the outcome here, we have the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, the Magician in the reverse, and also Knight of Wands in the reverse. So let's look at these. All the cards are very, very positive. However, the outcome here, I do feel that, once again, plans are in the manifestation stages, okay? We do have Mercury in retrograde for this on the 17th of this month. So I do feel that this is something that it's really nice and blissful and just, very positive, which is a good thing. But I do feel that in general, you are still nursing this broken heart. You are still going back to a situation from the past, okay? And you are still trying to make things work. So when it comes to situations from the past, especially like lovers and things like that, going back in for round two, where it's kind of like one of those codependent, addictive type of relationships where you break up and you make up. The first month or so that you get back together, it could seem like very blissful. And then after that, things start to descend into chaos, because that's the nature of a codependent relationship. It becomes like an addiction, and you can't really clearly extract yourself from it. So a lot of you, possibly half of you, would be dealing with this energy. So I want you to be careful, because I do sense that the relationship has the potential to burn out. If this is like one of those old codependent relationship, okay, I feel that you were very, very happy in the past. So this is something that you're jumping back into without, I guess, without a game plan as to, how are we going to do things differently this time around? And on top of that, if this is a work situation, don't start anything during the Mercury retrograde period, okay? It'll be out of its shadow period completely by the end of October. So that's the time for you to start projects, okay? So that's the time for you to move forward and push ahead. And for those of you who are going through this situation where you've left a lover behind and you're starting something new, and especially if you're starting something new with a fire sign, fire signs are Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. I do feel that take it for what it is. If you're having fun, just enjoy the process of having fun, okay? Because it is still a little bit problematic dating during the Mercury in retrograde period. People might renege on their promises, for example, or things are really, really good during, the first few months of meeting one another, dating one another, courting one another. But then the reality of it is you might not, the energy itself, once Mercury is direct in station, and once we're out of that Mercury shadow period, I do feel that a lot of things will come up that will make you reassess this situation. So this is something to think about, and also, be very, very slow and be very deliberate as to the direction of this relationship, because it seems to me like this is still the honeymoon stages. So it seems like it's still very new. So you want to take it slow. Additionally, I do sense that with the Magician in the reverse position, I do feel as if, the power of manifestation and in general, in the reverse, I do see this as the power of manipulation too, okay? That can come into the picture. This situation that you're in looks very, very favorable, looks very idyllic. And you might just want to keep it in suspension just like this, okay? But it's not allowing the relationship to progress. So you want it to progress in a natural way rather than controlling all the factors that are coming into play. Allow it to play out naturally, okay? Don't rush things. Don't push too fast, because I do feel there is potential for burning out and possibly jumping the gun and ruining a very, very positive experience, okay? So be very careful about that, Libras. I do sense that when it comes to new financial situation, a lot of you have the 9 of coins here, 7 of coins, so it indicates to me that, hard work is definitely going to be achieved, or money is going to be achieved through hard work, okay? Because external to you is the 9 of coins. However, internal to you is still the 7 of coins, which is waiting for that harvest, waiting for that huge payout, okay? Waiting for your work to pay out. So it's still, some work still needs to be revisited, still needs to be redone in order for you to change the situation 180, basically. So overall, a very, very positive second half of the month in September. Just don't push things too fast. Allow the right time. Allow, look out for signs, and be open to things not going or progressing in the time frame that you'd hope. And, be patient about financial payouts, be patient with partners, be patient with new love interests. Allow situations to organically, naturally unfold rather than pushing full speed ahead, because I do feel like, possibly jumping the gun, possibly burning out. Okay, so those are the only things. I do feel it is a positive relationship. And if there are investment opportunities that you're hoping for, it looks favorable. If there is a new job that you're hoping to land, accept the job. I would say that don't start the job or don't accept it after like the 17th, because it is Mercury in retrograde. So what happens is you might start this job, and then you might realize that the job description itself is not clearly defined. So what you're doing is very, very different from the job description that was advertised, okay? So it's very problematic. So what also ends up happening is that you will go through, for the next 3 months, you would work at this job. And then when the next Mercury retrograde period comes around, you will realize that it's not really serving your greater needs. It's not using your skills adequately. So you might leave.